Have you ever sat in the car after dropping everyone else where they needed to be and just stared ahead? Not because you're tired and not because you're busy, but because somewhere deep inside you, you're asking, who am I now? The children need you less. Your role is just changing. The routines that once gave your life meaning are disappearing. You look around from the outside and, well, everything seems fine. You have a home, a family, maybe a career, responsibilities, a life that you've spent decades building, yet something just feels like it's missing. And you can't quite put your finger on what it is. You find yourself wondering, why don't I feel happy? Why don't I feel fulfilled in some way? Why do I feel lost when I have so much to be grateful for? When was the last time I actually did something just for me? What do I actually want? Who am I outside being everyone's everything? And perhaps the hardest question of all is this it? Because deep down you know there's more to life than surviving. More than ticking boxes, more than being needed, more than simply getting through another week. You want to feel alive again. You want to feel connected again. You want to feel like you again. And if this feels familiar, just know that you're not broken and you're not failing, and you're certainly not alone. What you're experiencing is one of the biggest identity transitions many humans face. For years, your life has revolved around everyone else. Your children, your partner, your work, your family, your responsibilities. You become so good at taking care of everyone else's needs that somewhere along the way, you stop listening to your own. Now you're experiencing things like this loss of confidence or a loss of identity. And perhaps there's some like self-doubt that's crept in, and then you go into like overthinking, and there's this emotional exhaustion that's going on, and just feeling disconnected from yourself and feeling unseen most of the time, and then of course feeling unfulfilled and feeling like you've got this lack of purpose going on, and this fear of making the wrong decisions when you're trying to search forward, and sometimes walking on eggshells and living in a bit of procrastination, and then doing some self-sabotage talk to yourself, and then feeling stuck and just feeling like you're constantly waiting for clarity. And the truth is, it's not because something is wrong with you in any way, shape or form. It's because you've outgrown the version of yourself you've been living from. The woman you were is just no longer who you're becoming. And of course that creates tension, what I like to call sacred tension. But here's what most women do in this situation. They actually ignore it. They just stay busy. They keep saying, I'll figure it out later. Things will improve when blah, blah, blah. I'll focus on me once everyone else is okay. Oh, the universe will show me. It'll give me a sign. And then another year passes. Nothing changes. The confidence doesn't magically return. The purpose doesn't suddenly appear. The answers don't arrive while you're busy ignoring the questions. Instead, you keep shrinking. You keep settling. You keep convincing yourself that this is just what life looks like now. Imagine yourself 5 years from today, still questioning yourself, still waiting, still doubting, still putting everyone else first, still wondering, what happened to me? Because the cost isn't just feeling lost. The cost is missing the life that you could have, that could have been yours. the trips you never took, the business that you never started, the conversations you never had, the boundaries that you never set, the dreams you never gave yourself permission to pursue, the version of you that never got a chance to fully emerge. And one day you wake up wondering, what would have happened if I'd chosen myself? Well, the good news is, purpose isn't something you find. Purpose is something that you remember. Because the woman that you're actually searching for isn't missing. She's underneath the conditioning. She's underneath the expectations. She's underneath the roles that you've been playing. She's underneath the patterns that you keep repeating. And that's exactly why I created the Human Reset. It's a transformational pathway designed to help you reconnect with yourself and create a life that feels aligned, meaningful, and authentic. And through the Human Reset, you move through the human transformation pathway. So we discover what the hidden patterns are. We see what has been actually unconsciously running your life for you. And then we understand what the imprint is, your imprint, and we discover where those patterns actually begun. And then we like to do something where we make the reset. We release what no longer serves you anymore. And then we do the align and integrate part of it, where you create these new beliefs, these new behaviors, and we have some choices and decisions which are finite. And then we go into this natural embodiment where you become the woman you were always meant to be. And this isn't about becoming someone new. It's about returning to who you've always been. For more than 30 years, I've worked with people through transformation. I've worked as a massage therapist, a trainer, assessor, a human transformation facilitator, a retreat leader, a workshop facilitator, and a personal development coach. I've supported people through burnout and identity loss and that relationship breakdown they have with themselves or in their relationship, through major life transitions, through this emotional overwhelm and these self-worth challenges that come up, and simply personal transformation. Because I've also lived this journey myself. I've experienced what it's like when children have all grown up, when life changes, when these old identities no longer fit into the life you're trying to create, when you're forced to ask, who am I now? I did that. And over the years, I've watched hundreds of people reconnect with themselves and rebuild confidence and create meaningful change in their lives. And many of them simply say, I finally feel like myself again. I found me. And that's why I created the Human Reset. Because it's these 5 steps to living, a purpose-driven life. It's self-paced online experience where you can actually begin immediately. And inside you learn how to reconnect with yourself, how to identify these unconscious patterns, how to rebuild that self-trust, how to gain that clarity, how to create some aligned action, and how to stop living from old conditioning. And of course, how to move forward and how to move towards the next chapter of your life. And the investment, well, it's simply $97. And for the first 10 women, I'm going to throw in what's called the Purpose Discovery Process. And this is a guided session which is designed to help you uncover what matters most and gain greater clarity about your next chapter. So if you've been quietly asking yourself, who am I now? What do I want? And what's next for me? Then perhaps this is your sign to stop waiting. Not for someone else, not for the universe, not for that perfect moment, for yourself. Comment, reset below, or send me a DM with the word purpose, or click the link and you can actually begin today. Because the woman that you're actually searching for isn't somewhere out there. She's waiting for you underneath everything that you've become. And it's time to come home to her. With the Human Reset, return to yourself, rediscover your purpose, and remember who you are.